This show is sponsored by Alicia's Pillows and Things. Check out the Facebook page, Alicia's Pillows and Things, where you will find home decor you will not be able to resist at prices anybody can afford. Check out the pillows and stools of your favorite sports teams. Maybe you want a set of your kid's favorite cartoon or movie character. You can also get full body and neck pillows as well. Log on to ngscsports.com and go to the Alicia's Pillows and Things tab on the homepage to complete your order. It makes a great gift for Christmas at an affordable price. NGSC Sports. We never stop.
You're listening to NGSC Sports Radio. Hear us live on ngscsports.com, where you can get awesome analysis for all things sport. Or check out our podcasts on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, iTunes, TuneIn, and much more. For our latest videos, head to NGSC Sports YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at NGSC Sports and like us on Facebook. NGSC Sports. We never stop.
I guess that's kind of true.
The real question is, do I have to do anything today, or are things optional?
I mean, you probably have to do something today.
Have to is such an interesting phrase.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Cool. So seriously, do you? Are you? You're gonna sit over there? I was just saying. I just was gonna offer again to move that, but if you're gonna sit over there, that's fine. You can turn that light on too. Excuse me. Oh my.
The fuck I want to.
Okay, fine. Oh God.
We might lay down though.
I don't give a fuck.
Also, I should probably add
Yeah. So, was it fun being at the pub?
It was a lovely atmosphere. We just came to go together. I thought we were a much better team today.
How many people would you say?
I gotta tell you a big thing at the pub now.
Oh,
But,
please do.
apparently was there the last time, and I just didn't notice it because it was so packed. I never got there. I would say all the seats were taken, and there was definitely. I mean, it wasn't like choked like it's been sometimes.
Right.
I mean, there was room to move, but it was a good crowd.
Okay.
I'd say there were probably 100 people there.
Oh wow. I was gonna say like 40.
No, more
Wow,
than that.
that's good. I mean for 3 o'clock on a
Yeah.
Tuesday.
So I finally figured this. I found this out when I actually just went to the bathroom today. Last time I went, I didn't go to the bathroom back in December. They have knocked out the wall right there that kind of stop. You know, you go in that little opening in the two bathrooms. They knocked out the wall. They bought the other side,
Oh
so it's a walkthrough, and they actually have two sides of the pub now.
wow.
So you can go in there and watch the match, and they've got their own little bar. They've got their own bar in there. And
Oh,
now they've got in the last
damn.
week or so, they've opened a kitchen, and they have a full British pub menu in there.
Oh, so is that why they had like all that food today?
Yeah, I mean that's just
my God.
That's just like from now on they serve food. I mean it was. I paid $5. I got a basket of they were like British chips.
Yeah.
Chippies. A chippy basket. And but I mean they got fish and chips. You can get full English breakfast in there.
Damn.
I mean they had probably a good half dozen like main you know, $10 to $15 price range entrees.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind going back just to eat dinner. You know, sometime. You know, but I mean, it was, and I mean, they had wings and burgers and sandwiches, and
Wow.
so yeah, it's become more than just the pub.
That's really cool though.
Yeah,
Good for them.
it was neat. It's neat, and it's nice in there now. You know, like I say, it got that walkway, so you know, I think it kind of like
No, I want one.
can
Sorry.
help with that overflow. You know, so when you go, they can either A, pack more people in,
Yeah.
or B, you know, you might actually have room to breathe.
Did you
Yeah.
want a caramel egg? Milk chocolate caramel egg?
I'm good.
Well, that's really good though. I mean, especially then, like for like stuff like the Champions League final, because I mean that was a fucking
Exactly.
nightmare. As fun as it was, it was.
Well, I mean,
kind of a
even when me and Callie went to Liverpool, Arsenal,
Coke's out,
Mhm.
cat.
it was. I mean, it was once again not as packed as the final would be, but I mean, it was still a lot of people in there that day. It was still standing room only in there. Oh, something else I noticed: all the jerseys they got on the wall, there are only 2 non-Liverpool jerseys. One's a signed David Beckham jersey. The other one I signed Harry Kane jersey.
Really?
Down
Wow.
there, they got a Harry Kane jersey down there.
I would have actually assumed one of them would have been like NCFC or something like that.
Oh, I mean, they've got they got Stevie G, they got Gerard, not Gerard, Stevie G, Gerard. They got like a Carragher jersey, they got like a Bruce Grobbelaar jersey. They got some stuff in there, but they have a Harry Kane jersey.
Wow.
Way down in the corner.
Well, yeah, obviously. Obviously.
Yeah, you gotta go look. Nah, I was like, oh, it'll appreciate that.
That's kind of cool.
But yeah, so I mean, it's really from where we started going to now. I mean, it's really nice. It's gotten much nicer in there.
Good for them.
Yeah,
Good to see they made it.
They've replaced the tables, and the tables are more conducive to actually sitting there and eating a meal. And yeah, it's nice in there now.
Oh, good for them.
Good for the pub.
Good for them. Oh my god.
I hope it means they'll be there for a long time to come.
Yeah. Just like the Foreign Affair podcast.
Oh, we're rolling.
Sure, why not?
Sweet.
No, but that's
I was
good
about
for
to play
them.
Tinder for a little while, but
We can do that later. Oh, that's the fun game we used to play. Welcome to the Foreign Affair podcast. We won't be playing. What was it? What did we actually call it? Was it just TV Tinder?
Yeah, we're playing like TV Tinder or something.
TV
I can't remember
Tinder.
what we called it. As the Tinder turns.
Oh, that's a good one.
knows?
That's a really good one. But no, we won't be doing that today here on the special 250th episode of the podcast. We are live with Wes Bradshaw coming to us straight from the London Bridge pub in Raleigh, North Carolina, which you may have heard in the pre-show has been just revamped and
Upgraded and
so nice.
deliciousness.
Good to see them. Good to see. I'm really glad to see, especially with where they're like located.
So,
It's really good to
yeah.
see a British pub really taking hold
Got
in
that pub
downtown
food, a
Raleigh.
basket of British fries, and you get 2 dipping sauces with. I got a really good spicy aioli, which is really,
sounds really
really
good.
nice. And they had about
really
a dozen
good.
different sauces. They got spicy aioli and some ranch, and wow! I wish I had someone to share it with because I couldn't eat all that.
It's true.
I mean, I worked on for like 45 minutes and couldn't finish the basket. Slim West can't pull this off anymore. So
Well, maybe
Slim Shady can't.
maybe in the near future you'll have a partner at the pub.
Goodness, Ed, maybe we'll share a basket. Oh my
Sounds delicious. But of course, we'll be talking about the Champions League matches that have taken place so far. We're recording this on Tuesday, so we don't have the Wednesday results yet. I believe I'll be doing just
Have
a
that
quick
as an addendum.
a little addendum tomorrow. I'll record that when I get home from work, as the matches are over. But today we will be talking about a little bit about Barcelona-Lyon, as well as Liverpool-Bayern Munich, one of those European nights at Anfield, which was exciting, even if there weren't any goals. But we'll be talking about that. We'll mention a little bit about the FA Cup. We'll have a very brief news and note, and then we'll watch for and so raw. As always, the podcast is presented by NGSC Sports and NGSCsports.com. We never stop. As well as Alicia's Pillows and Things. You don't... Yes, it is. I've never seen your face when I'm doing this before, so this is hard. Go on to Facebook.com and search for Alicia's Pillows and Things, and you know what, Wes? We'll do this live. We'll do it live.
We'll do it live, damn it.
Thank you. We'll go on to Facebook right now and check out what is on Alicia's Pillows and Things. It's not
Holy Jason Momoa.
it's not Jason Momoa.
Jeez, I've not seen shirtless Jason Momoa on any of the Girl Scout cookies I've been trying to hawk for the last month.
I know.
By the way, anybody needs Girl Scout cookies, please God call me. I've got like 8 cases in my garage that had to be gone by the end of the month.
Sweet Jesus. What kind of you?
Everything but the lemon.
I might get some Thin Mints from you then.
I'll get them to you. Don't worry. I don't have them today, but I'll get them to you.
That's fine.
I actually have an abundance of Thin Mints, so however many you want, I can hook you up.
Thin Mints are great.
I'm your Thin Mint man.
Hey, well, pitchers and catchers have reported.
I'll tell you, that's...
So if you need a Los Angeles Dodgers, call that a body pillow, I guess.
I'll tell you, that should be more affordable now that Manny Machado is... They're not signing Manny Machado.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's money well saved, if you ask me.
Ooh, that was $300 million well saved. So go check that out. There's also some NBA gear as well in there. So if you need some pillows and or things, go check out Alicia's Pillows and Things on Facebook.
That's the thing. I mean, pillows are great, but the things...
The things. You never know with things. Things can be literally anything.
Serious. If Alicia will start throwing some liver birds on there, she might have a customer from me.
There you go.
Alicia, you hear me, girl? Liver birds. Liver birds, girl.
Bird. The bird is the word. So let's talk about the Champions League. We'll dive into that now. After last week's just thrilling set of matches, we got a couple 0-0 results today, which normally in our Premier League talk would mean we would just skip right over it. But it's the Champions League, and it's really the only two matches we're going to talk about.
And the thing is, it was 4 teams that you're like, oh, we're going to have some fireworks today. We're going to have some freaking goals. Yeah. No.
One of those sexy ties in Liverpool versus Bayern Munich, as well as what was a pretty good Lyon-Barcelona matchup. Just neither one.
Some hella saves in both of these matches.
Yes, there was, especially that.
That's her stake.
That was a great save. Leon maybe should have won with just that alone, but Barcelona also put in about 20 more shots than Leon did. We'll talk about that match a little later. Let's start with Liverpool versus Bayern Munich. Another great matchup between these two sides. A lot of chances for both teams. Liverpool leading on shots, Bayern leading on possession, as well as corners. But just a very cagey tie at points, but a lot of attacking from both sides as well. Both sides definitely West going out and trying to score some goals and get a foot in this two-leg tie. Both seeing some great chances. Sadio Mane missing one. That was very tough, but just dragging it a little wide, as well as a couple others. A couple great chances for Bayern Munich as well. Serge Gnabry, who every Arsenal fan probably threw their TV out the window upon seeing how great he was doing.
Gnabry looked really good today.
Yeah. What? He was on fire. Both keepers playing a little nervous. Which, if you're a Liverpool fan after last season's Champions League, you don't really want to see again. But
it was a different nervous, though. It was passing nervous, not stopping basic shots that come at you. Nervous.
Sweet Jesus, can I get a hand on this and keep it out of goal?
Yeah, he was great. He's great with that.
Yeah, that was fun.
Today he just got a little too
distribution that hurt him. But Wes, so this is the big question. You come out, and with Virgil van Dijk missing from this leg due to suspension, you come out and hold Bayern Munich to no goals, no away goals for them as you head back to the Allianz. That's great, but on the flip side, no goals of your own, and now you have to win or get a score to draw in Germany to go through. Not an impossible task, but how do you feel about that? Because on the one hand, no goals scored, but on the other hand, no goals allowed.
Right. To me, as a Liverpool fan, and I believe as the Liverpool team would look at, goal number 1 today for them had to be get the clean sheet.
Yeah, I would say so.
And when you look at the fact that it was Joel Matip and making his second ever appearance at center back for Liverpool, Fabinho. Yeah. I mean, what more could you have asked for out of that group? Gnabry. It seemed like all of Munich's best chances came from distance. Mm-hmm. There were a few right in front of goal, and one where it looked like they were going to score, in which Alisson was just right place, right time. Right. And as I noted to the fella sitting next to me, I said, I think that's the wall that Donald Trump wants to build. I said, it only took Liverpool £60 million to get their walls.
A lot of congressional approval for that.
Yeah, it didn't take long to approve that. No. So it's like, just get him. Trump wishes he was Klopp at this point, I think. And Other than that, it was some shots from range that would have been spectacular goals. But still, I don't think you could ask much more from Liverpool defensively. There was one in there. Jordan Henderson came back, and it looked like they were going to get loose for a shot. And Henderson stepped right in, made a beautiful stop. And they had a few of those where it looked like, especially Lewandowski was getting in position. And Fabinho stuck a foot in, Matip stuck a foot in. Henderson, coming from that holding role, was able to make some plays. And to me, that was the biggest thing. Andy Robertson looked completely off of it today. He certainly did not have his best match. Trent was marauding really well up and down the sides.
I heard at one point they actually switched.
They did a few times.
Was that planned, or was that because they were?
I've got to figure. I don't know. Now I can't say that. It may have been due to the circumstance of the moment. It may have been something where they saw something. It might have been planned. But it was just a different look, a few different things. I thought Trent's crossing was really good today and almost led to a few goals. But Neuer pulled out a few of those old school Neuer saves. And a lot of it was just Liverpool having chances, having the ball in the right place, just pulling it wide, just pushing it wide, just going over. Keita almost pulled off an incredible bicycle kick, which would have put Gareth Bale to shame, because Keita actually pulled it back, flipped it up off his foot, and then came across like it around the penalty box. But that went over. Mane almost had a bicycle kick that just, it didn't end up being close, but there were some spectacular moments. There were some really close. There were some crosses where I know there was one in particular in the second half where I think it was Trent. There were a couple. One, Trent flipped over where Salah was coming on a free run to the back post, just too far over his head. There was another one where Mane was coming far post and Firmino just put it over his head from short range. It was one of those days for Liverpool. It was, a few inches here, a few inches there. And that was especially the first half. In the second half, it was, I see what you were trying to do, but you're just not getting the pass through, especially with Naby Keita, who he kind of faded in the second half. But once again, I think Keita's been building on his good performances. I was overall happy with him. But in the second half, they were trying to thread a few too many passes that just weren't making it through. But, for the most part, of course, listen to TalkSport. There were definitely some out with the knives.
Mistake number one.
Yeah, mistake number one, listen to TalkSport. I thought it was a pitiful performance. How? How are you saying this? You just shut down a European superpower in your backyard.
I've heard nobody who I respect in football actually say it was a bad performance.
Yeah, it wasn't a great performance.
No.
They didn't score the goal, so you can't call it a great performance.
Right.
I call it a 6 out of 5. Or 6 out of 5. 6.5.
6 out of 5.
So, yeah. I'll say it's a 6.5 out of 10 performance. Sure. I thought we were good at times. I thought we had chances to really take over the match.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's freaking Bayern Munich here, Yeah. And at the end of the night, it just wasn't the night to do it. But as far as confidence level goes, you can look at this. It's however you want to look at this.
Sure.
Well, Munich's going home. They'll have the advantage because they're at home. Liverpool's going to Munich. All you got to do is score a goal. And all the pressure on God's green earth is on them.
Absolutely. That is true.
all you got to do, you put in one goal, they got to score two. Not only that, Joshua Kimmich out the next match for them. That's a big loss for them. That's basically like us losing Andy Robertson, which we didn't do. And, we get Virgil van Dijk back, which means we can push Fabinho back into midfield in the return match. I'm confident. There's no reason for me as a Liverpool fan to not be confident.
Sure.
We don't have to go and win.
No.
All I do is go score and draw.
As a Spurs fan, I don't know what that term means, but I don't know what a draw is.
Oh, well, of course. It's not in your DNA.
I have no idea.
So it's when two teams score the exact amount of goals.
Yes.
It's what happened today.
Interesting. Very, very, very unfamiliar thing with me.
It was like, nope, we win them or we lose them.
One person I do want to talk just a little bit more about that might not be featuring in the second leg with Fabinho moving back into the midfield is Jordan Henderson, who I do know had a pretty good game today, especially as a defensive mid. Also had at least one good through ball to Salah. And this is someone who is, I don't want to say been maligned this year, but he's sort of been forgotten a little bit.
Jordan Henderson suffers from, and we've talked about this so many times in the past, mostly with coaches. Obviously with what happened at Manchester United, you don't want to be the guy to follow the guy.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately for Jordan Henderson, he followed the guy.
Yeah.
And forever, they're pretty much same build, same size. They're white English dudes. He is directly compared to Steven Gerrard.
Yeah.
He's not Steven Gerrard.
No.
one ever said he was Steven Gerrard. We never said, oh, we've got the next Steven Gerrard. No, it's like we've got this guy Jordan Henderson. He's a good player. He's a good captain for us. But I think that's the biggest. That is the biggest reason Jordan Henderson has just gotten slaughtered over the years. Well, he's not Stevie G. It's like, well, neither is anyone else who's ever played for this club. The guy's one of the greatest English midfielders ever.
Yeah.
Sorry, we just got a really good one.
Yeah.
Please, excuse
Sorry,
him.
we downgraded from a 10 to a 7.
Exactly.
My bad, guys.
The hell out of him, But personally, that first half today from Henderson, I thought that was one of the best halves I've ever seen him put in.
Okay.
Second half, some of that effectiveness he didn't have on the game, but in the first half, I thought he was magnificent. Kept us from going down a few times, and I thought his distribution was good. I was really impressed with Jordan Henderson tonight.
Okay. Well, let's get your thoughts then, as we will have the next leg, I believe, in 3 weeks.
March 13th, I believe.
March 13th, yeah, at the Allianz, and so that with that coming up, what is your prediction for the match there?
Pain.
Well done.
No, I legitimately I can see a 1-1.
I can see that.
I can see us winning. I can see us winning 1-0. I mean, Van Dijk back. I can see us throwing in a great performance. I think we'll find at least a goal. I think we'll find at least a goal, and I don't think we'll give up more than a goal. So I'm predicting Liverpool to go through, either by the skin of their teeth, or with a win.
Yeah. So that would be, as things stand at this very moment, potentially a second team going through. We've got to kind of assume Manchester City's probably going to go through as we curse them for tomorrow.
Purposely, might we?
Absolutely. But Liverpool,
absolutely no trepidation.
No, absolutely not. So Liverpool with a big match coming up again on March 13th at the Allianz in Munich. The other match that took place today was another 0-0 draw, Lyon versus Barcelona. Lyon had a spat of chances. As gorgeous as they were, they did have only a few, as Barcelona dominated the possession in the match, almost 60-40, and put in 11 shots to Lyon's 2. Again, one of them was amazing. But
I haven't seen it. Apparently, Luis Suarez did something egregious.
he was very bad.
Okay, I haven't seen. Like I said, I was concentrating on one match, and I have not seen.
Oh, that's
fine.
So. Luis Suarez very bad. Philip Coutinho coming in, I believe for Dembele, was fairly effective in his time.
Grass ain't always greener.
That face plays so well in an audio only podcast.
Grass ain't always greener, is it?
No, it's not. Oh, that's for Sadio Mane. So we're not gonna do that. Yeah, just getting roasted on Twitter was Luis Suarez. This may have been one of his last times being a major factor for Barcelona as far as the Champions League, being that elite level player. Maybe he finds it again, but I also think he's fairly old now.
He's in
like
his
31.
He's around his. He's 32, maybe in 33.
Mr. Suarez.
Maybe.
Mr. Suarez.
33.
Mr. Alberto Suarez. How old are you? You are 32.
32.
Just turned 32.
Well, but the other thing is, I mean, a bad match is a bad match.
Yeah.
Everybody has them.
That's true.
And Suarez is still one of the better strikers in the world.
So
I don't count on Lewis.
But Barcelona doesn't, just like Bayern Munich, doesn't find their away goal, which means that, hey, crazier shit happened last year when Barcelona got dumped out by Roma.
Oh, yeah.
So this tie is in no way settled just because Lyon did not get a goal at home.
As we mentioned, it took a Ter Stegen wonder stop to keep it at this.
Absolutely. Lyon going back 1-0 would have been.
Lyon are scary. Lyon, I hate to say for Lyon. Lyon are the next great, exciting French team that's going to get plucked.
They're the next Monaco.
Yeah, I hate to say that, and it sucks to say that about them, but, Naby Fekir is barely still there from last summer, and they've got a host of very exciting young players who,
Yes.
within the next year or two are going to be dotting the likes of Barcelona.
Yeah.
And Real Madrid and Manchester United and Manchester City and maybe Liverpool and maybe Tottenham.
Yeah.
You know, that's the places those players are going to end up. So it's just what it is. Juventus, places like that. So.
It is a tough go for them, as well as basically any French club that is in PSG at the moment, that you are basically a feeder system at this point. But you do have the opportunity to give your fans moments like this, and they almost gave them an absolutely perfect moment if that goal had gone through and Ter Stegen had not been able to save that. But Barcelona do not pick up their away goal. I still think you favor them to get past Lyon heading back to the Camp Nou, but again, it is football. Crazy things can happen on the day, but Barcelona...
Last year we gave Roma no chance to go through. So,
Exactly.
And Barca, as great as Messi is and as great as the players they have, Barca have kind of had that little stink around them for a few years now.
It's starting to get a little old.
And it gets a little funkier
Yeah.
when your biggest rival is winning the competition every year, it seems like.
Yeah.
That makes it stink just a little more.
Just a little bit. So the matches I'll be covering coming up here in just a moment are going to be Schalke 04 hosting Manchester City. That match will be taking place, of course, former Tottenham star Nabil Bentaleb taking place in this one. Yeah! Actually came out with a very nice article today where he was very complimentary of his time at Tottenham. And
I don't know why it wouldn't be.
well, I think he left on pretty bad terms. And because when he got hurt after his breakout year, and then he got kind of replaced in midfield by this kid named Dele Alli, who knows, and as well as Mr. Dembele, he was very eager to get back on the pitch, and when he didn't, he was not very happy about it. So left Tottenham under not great terms, but now I believe now he's like 24 now. Again, just showing how young he was at the time. Had very complimentary things to say. He's like, if I went back there now, I would have handled that situation a lot differently. So good to hear from the young lad. So best of luck to him against Manchester City.
Good on
ya. And then Atletico Madrid versus Juventus will be taking place in Madrid as well. So we'll be catching you guys up on that. I'll dump it in right now. Thanks, past me. You're so kind and smart and lovable and just wonderful all around. Hey guys, it's Edward here on Wednesday, catching you guys up with the rest of the Champions League set of ties from this Wednesday. Now the entirety of the round of 16 is done for the first legs. And oh boy, what a very exciting day of football it was. We'll start with Atletico Madrid 2, Juventus 0. Atletico Madrid get a pair of goals from their defensive players, Jose Jimenez as well as Diego Godin. Both of them scoring goals in the final 20 minutes of the match. Atletico, always known for their defense, now their defense scores goals. Notably in the match, also Diego Costa picked up a goal in the 8th minute for running away from the free kick line too quickly. It's the most Diego Costa yellow card ever. But that means he will actually miss the return leg at Juventus coming up here in a couple weeks due to yellow card accumulation. But Diego Simeone's men will be taking a 2-0 lead to Turin to see if they can advance on to the round of 8 and end Cristiano Ronaldo and Juventus' hopes of making it to the Champions League final once again. On the other match, it was a thriller in Schalke as it finished Schalke 04 2, Manchester City 3. City struck first through the Coon, Sergio Aguero, taking advantage of a misplay from Schalke's keeper, Farman, Ralph. Oh, Ralph Wiggum Farman. Yes, I do, thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks for the note, one-name producer Jackie. But that was not the only go of the match. Oh, no. There was more to come. We just mentioned this guy. Who knew that this throwaway line about Nabil Bentaleb that you heard right before this part was inserted in would come back to mean so much. Nabil Bentaleb with the brace in the span of just 7 minutes, thanks to a pair of penalty takes. One coming from a handball from Nicolas Otamendi, the second coming from Fernandinho dragging down a man in the box for Schalke that put Schalke up 2-1 over City, and they were super strong. Otamendi actually ended up picking up a second yellow in the 68th minute of the match that got him sent off due to double yellows. But that was not the end of the match. Vincent Kompany, the man that the Foreign Affair podcast and the all-new sports show takes its name from, he inspired the troops, he rallied them up, and led a prodigious charge going forward. Leroy Sané in the 85th minute took a beautiful free kick to level things up at 2-2. And then just before stoppage time, Raheem Sterling, thanks to a, let's call it speculative, kick out from Ederson from his own 6-yard box, put Sterling into space. A defender fell down. Sterling found himself one-on-one with the keeper, and Sterling beat him cool as you like. 3-2, City wins, and they'll be taking that lead back to England, where they'll meet up in a couple weeks. So a couple of big results. We saw our first half goals of the knockout stage, so that was exciting. But again, Atletico Madrid beats Juventus 2-0. More very importantly, no away goals for Juventus, so Atletico Madrid holds that little part of the tiebreaker. Man City gets 3 away goals against Schalke 04, so they'll be taking that as they head back to the Etihad. So that'll do it for this quick little update, and I think that takes us back to live, sort of, which was actually yesterday, so it's not really live, but you know what I mean. Back to live. And we're back.
Holy shit, that was amazing. Yeah, that was maybe the best
Crazy
moments of podcasting that I've ever heard in my life.
Absurdly insane. I can't believe this match has played out that way.
If we do not get brought to the awards, the podcaster awards this year.
Yeah, the potties, as I believe they're called.
P-O-T-T-Y-S.
Yeah.
I think we're probably the only people doing podcasts who don't smoke.
Unfortunate. So let's head real quick now to, speaking of potties, the FA Cup. Lottie-dottie, we like to potty, just come around.
Didn't bother me. I forgot they did it half the weekend while I was working.
There you go.
Oh yeah, let me see what happened.
Hey, Chelsea kind of forgot they were in the FA Cup too, so don't worry about it.
They're kind of forgetting that they play football.
That's true. For the FA Cup results in the round of 16, Watford narrowly squeaked by QPR, thanks to another former Tottenham great, Etienne Capoue, with the goal in his first half stoppage time. Brighton and Hove gets past Derby 2-1 as Derby's run in the competition unfortunately comes to an end. Millwall beats AFC Wimbledon thanks to an early goal in the 5th minute from Murray Wallace. Good for him. Manchester City smokes Newport, as we all thought they would, Newport being from League 2. But goals from Sané, Phil Foden, who is now one of the top scorers in the competition somehow, as well as Riyad Mahrez coming on late for a goal. Wolves. Big year for Wolves. Just keeps on keeping on. Ivan Cavallero with the goal in the 28th minute gets Wolves past Bristol City, and Nick Petrovic is so happy about that. Crystal Palace beats Doncaster out of League 1 2-0 thanks to goals from Jeffrey Schlupp, as well as former very hyped German prodigy Max Meyer. He gets his 2nd goal of the season for the club, first in the competition. So big goal there for Crystal Palace. Swansea demolishes Brentford 4-1. And finally, the only match I think we really need to talk about, and even then we don't need to have to talk about the match per se, but just more of the surrounding issues with it. Manchester United 2, Chelsea 0. Everybody, every commentator just fully now winking it off to Paul Pogba. They weren't able to do it for the last year and a half he was at Manchester United. Now it's in full gear. The sploosh fest is on for Pogba. So good to be part of that. I'm so glad they fired Mourinho. But also Ander Herrera with the first goal in that match, Pogba with the second, Rashford with the assist on that one. Of course, now this basically is like, well, is Sarri actually done now? I mean, he's still manager as we're recording this, so he's survived 24 hours. He
didn't get sacked in the morning.
It's true, he didn't, which, by all reports, not only are Manchester United fans singing it, Chelsea fans joined in with him.
Yeah, they did.
So that's kind of awkward. I do believe Chelsea do play in the League Cup final this week. I think it's this weekend. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, yes. I don't know.
I think it's this weekend.
Yeah, it is, because that's why Liverpool
yes.
are getting their match in hand back this weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
So with that, there is maybe some hope that if he can turn it around there in the League Cup final, again against Manchester City, the team they just lost 6-0 to, maybe Sarri keeps his job. But Wes, I mean, do you think after losing now in the FA Cup, losing as badly as they have in the league, if he loses the League Cup, and maybe it depends on the degree to which he loses, is Sarri out before the end of the year now?
Well, I mean, there's a very distinct chance. Roman Abramovich is not one who's afraid to let a manager go. And especially since, by the way, I'm going to go ahead. Man City, if you're listening, I'll tell you guys what's going to happen. Chelsea's going to play 4-3-3.
What? You can't say that on this podcast.
Jorginho's going to play in the middle of the park and never run forward and just pass 5-yard passes. Whoever starts between Barkley and Kovacic in the 63rd minute, he's going to sub them for the other one. Hudson Odoi, who was promised playing time so he wouldn't go to Bayern Munich, he's probably not going to play.
I don't know. He might play.
Why? I haven't played him so far.
I guess it's true.
Since all this deal was made about him, since the end of the window, he's played 30 minutes. Oh, God, we got to keep him. He's so integral to our plans. We're going to play him 30 minutes. It's going to be the same old shit from Chelsea.
Yeah. Do they have a chance against City?
Always give them a chance, just as they do have some damn good players.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could have a brilliant Eden Hazard. You get
Do they
Gonzalo.
care?
I will say in the professional light that, when you have a chance at silverware, you care. You come in, you play hard because it is a chance to add to your trophy case. I don't think any of them are going to be crying if they lose.
I do think
That said, League Cup, I don't think City will either. So.
This is actually very interesting because I'm just realizing this, and I'm probably not the first person to because I'm just not that smart. This is actually very interesting to what happened last year. Arsenal, I believe either before or after their League Cup final against Man City, got smoked by them. Also got smoked in the League Cup final, and then proceeded to kind of fall off a cliff for the rest of the season. Not that they were particularly on that cliff in the first place, and then got rid of their manager. I mean, I could see the same thing happening in Chelsea. I don't think City will take it easy just because it's the League Cup. I think because it's a final. At this point, they're gonna go pretty well into it, depending on how things, I guess, shake up because they'll just be coming off a Champions League.
Yeah, they're not going to change anything, but they'll go into it.
And
they're going to change shit, though, but they'll go.
Of course, the other interesting thing is, and something that no amount of me editing into the podcast is going to happen, is Chelsea will also be a couple days removed from playing in the Europa League. I believe they have the home match against Malmo, which they won the first leg 2-1 in Sweden. So I don't know. I give City, not City. I give Chelsea a puncher's chance. I just don't know if I give them much more than that. But I have a feeling that if they play City tight, I think Sarri keeps his job maybe till the end of the year. Or if it's early April and Champions League football doesn't look like it's going to happen next season, I think he'll get fired. If they lose 5-0 or 5-1, I think he's done.
Man, I mean, I think if they get smoked, I think he's done. That said, I don't think, God, at this point, I don't even know if he wins it if he's safe for the whole season.
No,
I mean, just the way it ebbs and flows at a club like Chelsea. Because even if they win it, there'll be a little fan jubilation, I guess, but that's not going to change the fact that they're probably not going to make the Champions League next year. They're probably going to lose their best player.
Well, and I guess the other interesting thing is if he wins, let's say he loses 3-1 in the League Cup final. They're still in the Europa League as of right now, and I don't expect Malmo to knock them out. I don't think there's that many like top clubs.
If Malmo knocks him out,
Oh, he's done. Oh, he won't make it to the League Cup final then. Oh, that's fucking done.
Especially losing to like Malmo, you know.
Right, Unai
I mean,
Emery?
it'd be one thing if it was.
They lost.
That said, Unai Emery to me is in a different situation.
Yeah,
than
no,
Chelsea.
I agree. Well,
He is in a full-on rebuild.
yeah.
Close. He is in a rebuild situation where Chelsea are more in that we just keep bringing in a new guy
Yeah.
and trying to keep everything going without
Right.
having to rebuild.
Yeah.
Chelsea's more like the Yankees,
Yes.
where let's say Arsenal are more like
Houston.
let's
No,
say
I know you're
late
using-
'90s UNC,
Okay.
where you had the manager for so long.
Yeah.
Now, of course, they didn't fall into the malaise in Carolina
Yes.
that they're falling here. But, you know, the next guy's up, and it's like, okay, we understand if you don't immediately do everything because, you know, you still have to kind of do some things
Right.
yourself. You know, but don't let it go too long, Matt Doherty.
Yes.
Don't fuck up for too long, Matt
Yeah.
Doherty. So, you know, to me, I think Unai Emery, unless they just fall off the face of the earth and finish like 10th.
I mean, if they get knocked out of the Europa League, I don't even remember who they're playing at this point. I just know they lost. It's a Ukrainian. It's
Master.
yeah,
The Masters.
yeah, the Masters of
Bate Borisov.
BATE Borisov. Yeah. Also Alexander Lacazette, who might be out of.
Yeah, sounds
out
like he
of
might
the-
be out. But, you know, if
He
to
will be
me-
out of the next leg or the next
might
match.
be out of.
Yeah, but he might be out
Arsenal,
completely.
But you know what I mean? I mean that's something where if you believe in Unai Emery, you gotta give him that. You know, if he doesn't want Lacazette, hey, go make some money. I mean, to me, you shouldn't lose but so much off of Lacazette.
Yeah.
I mean, especially the way prices have gone up since then, you might
True.
make some money off Lacazette. So, you know, you gotta give him something to reinvest. So,
Yeah, that
it'd
was
be really super if you could sell that German guy who doesn't ever play anymore.
which one? Oh yeah, yeah.
Which one?
I was like,
Oh, that's a better answer. Which one?
yeah. Well, because my first thought actually went to Aubameyang, but I was like, he still kind of plays some. He's pretty
Oh,
good.
and he's actually Ghanaian or something.
Yeah.
I could have thought Per Mertesacker, but I think he's actually already retired.
Arsenal is
Per Mertesacker, who was the club captain and didn't play for a year.
yeah.
That was,
Arsenal's in a really weird place right now.
they are. They need money to rebuild.
They don't have it.
Apparently, they don't have any somehow.
Yeah.
Somehow, Arsenal doesn't have money. Still can't figure that one out. You know, I thought you paid off the stadium. That's
Yeah.
why. That's why for years you didn't spend the money
Yeah.
because you had to pay off the stadium. Well, now it's paid off. Oh, we got none.
Well, it's all tied up in Ozil.
Yeah, and old poor money poor Stan Kroenke over there.
Yeah.
You just, I don't know what to tell you. I ain't got no money.
If Chelsea and Arsenal both miss the Champions League, which is pretty likely at this point.
I think that's odds on right now.
Yeah, like that's. I mean, could both of them change managers if that happens?
As I would feel a whole lot better being Unai Emery than Maurizio Sarri.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think if anybody stays, it'll be Emery.
Yeah. Yikes. Fucking yikes. Quarterfinals, back to the FA Cup. Swansea City will be hosting Man City in the round of 8. Watford gets Crystal Palace. Wolves get Manchester United. As good as Manchester United has been, Wolves at home could pull off the upset. And then Millwall hosts Brighton and Hove. Millwall and Swansea.
Millwall?
The two lowest clubs left in the competition.
God, I love this. Really, right now, I'm pulling for Wolves out of all this.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Wolves
Absolutely.
lift the cup.
Nick Petrovich. Pete post on Instagram.
Lift the
about
cup.
that. Lift the cup for
And
Nick.
then we'll go by Ruben Neves.
There you go. He gets one good moment for Wolves. So that's going to do it for Match Talk. Let's hit the news and notes. We have one story, and it's about one of Wes's favorite people.
Oh, it is? I haven't even checked it. I don't even know what news and notes is yet.
I know. I hit
I'm
the
gonna close-
tab
I'm gonna
so
close
you
my
couldn't
eyes.
see it.
I'm going to close my eyes. You
All
tell
right.
me when to open them.
3,
This plays well on
2,
audio as well.
1, open.
Oh, Jesus.
Have you heard about this story?
I heard something about it. I haven't dove into it, but trust me, I can always come up with things.
Oh,
that don't rhyme.
this is so dumb. So, last week in the Champions League, Real Madrid went to Ajax and won 2-1. But in the 89th minute, Sergio Ramos, who is on enough cards that if he picked up another yellow, would be suspended for the next match for accumulation.
I already understand what he did and why he did it. Go ahead.
So, he fouls Kasper Dolberg of Ajax in the 89th minute, with Real Madrid already leading. For his yellow card that gets him suspended. In the process, also, just because the foul wasn't enough, the official actually was not going to book him. Ramos starts talking shit to Dolberg, and that's actually what prompted the card. So in case anybody thought, well, maybe Ramos is being sincere with his comments, fuck you, he's not. When he was asked after the match, if he knew the foul was likely to lead to a yellow card and a ban, Ramos said, according to the BBC, quote, "Yes, but I had no choice." Obviously, missing the second leg to Ajax at home would be much better than possibly missing the first match to Juventus in the next round or
Liverpool
or anybody.
Or Bayern Munich.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So at that point, there is a rule from UEFA that if you intentionally foul to get that yellow card to miss a match that is maybe of quote-unquote lesser importance,
Right.
they can suspend you for more matches. And
Good on 'em.
and so with Ramos saying that, because again he said after the match, Ramos told reporters, quote, "He would be lying if I said I didn't force it," i.e. the booking. So he's just admitting it. Last Friday, he clarified saying, quote, "I'm very surprised about all this." Yeah, sure you are. "I was referring to forcing the foul. A foul that was inevitable. Not to force the booking. It was a very dangerous counterattack in the 88th minute with an open match and the tie as well. That's why I said that I would lie if I said I did not know that I was carrying a penalty, just as I knew that I had no other choice than to make a mistake. And that's what I meant when I said that in football, you have to make complicated decisions." And he said, Ramos added that had he wanted to pick up a yellow card on purpose, he could have done so in a group game against Roma because we were already classified as first, and the last game against CSKA Moscow was inconsequential. Which, by saying that, means he should have been suspended multiple times anyway for that if he had done it. He understands what he did. He's admitting it. Fucking ban him.
It's like dealing with a child. You know what you did. Yeah. Okay, then. I'm going to punish you.
Oh, my God.
But, here's the kicker. Sergio Ramos, it's Real Madrid.
I
This
know.
will be swept under the rug by UEFA Madrid.
Now, to be fair, as it notes in the article, Ramos' teammate Danny Carvajal received a 2-game ban from UEFA when he was judged to have been booked on purpose in the final minute of a 6-0 win over APOL Nicosia in last season's tournament during the group stage. So there is a precedent with banning Real Madrid players. Danny Carvajal is not Sergio Ramos.
And it wasn't in the quarterfinals of the Champions League.
So I want to see this happen. I want to see him get banned for this shit because this is dumb. And if you actually believe him, when he put out those comments on Friday, if you believe that, you're an idiot. I'm going to go ahead and say it. You're an idiot. Sorry. That's
Sorry, not sorry.
sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Thank God I'm not sorry. So that's our news and notes for the week. Let's hit the watch for Wes. What have you been watching the week that was or the week that will be?
I've been watching whatever was on TV at work because that's what Wes has done a lot of lately. What have I watched recently? Oh, I went and saw a movie there. I went and saw Happy Dead Day to You.
Oh!
Which
To you!
To You,
Because it's
yeah.
a sequel.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you guys first, before you go see it, you need to see Happy Dead Day because it directly follows those events and like the whole movie is harkening back.
Doesn't it feel like is it a spoiler that there's a sequel to that movie?
Well, I mean, you almost assume there will be anyway.
Okay.
Or you assume what's going to happen.
If you hadn't seen one
yeah.
and you just know the premise, doesn't
No, you miss so much.
okay.
You
Well, no, I'm
miss-
saying
yeah.
doesn't because I've never seen either of these movies.
Okay.
I know the basic premise of one.
Shoot. Right.
Doesn't the fact that there's a sequel spoil the ending sort of one?
Well, but I mean, the sequel was announced like 6 months after one
Okay.
came out, so you
Okay.
know, it wasn't like, oh, we're doing one and then two will be out next year. So,
Okay.
you know.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't know if they meant to have a franchise to start with. It just kind of worked out.
It's like Paranormal Activity.
It is basically, I call it Groundhog Day mixed
Yeah.
with Scream.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't know what I was going to think of. I literally, I had a free afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
I had my AMC Stubbs movie card.
Yeah.
So I could see up to 3 movies a week for the low, low price of $19.99 a month.
It's better than Movie Pass.
Yeah, better than Movie Pass, which I paid like $11 a month, and then they would tell me, "Oh, no movies for you today." It's like, thanks, movie Nazi. So you know, I had about 3 hours before I went and watched. I was like, well, I should watch the first one. Pulled up on my Amazon Prime, the place to go. I don't know what their slogan is. But, anyway, just not in Queens, New York, apparently.
Yeah.
Because who needs jobs in Queens, New York, right? Alexandria. Anyway. So I watched it on my Amazon Prime, and I literally finished it as I was sitting in the movie theater
nice.
waiting for the previews to start with the second one.
Well done.
And I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you it was the greatest movie of all time because it wasn't. It wasn't the scariest movie because it wasn't. It wasn't the funniest, even though there's some great black comedy. I love a good black comedy.
It's fun.
That's not racist, by the way.
No, we know.
I didn't say blaxploitation comedy.
No. Ooh, that's bad. Black comedy's fine.
But I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I thought the second one was good. I thought the first one was better. Second one was still good though, and actually kind of took some different turns from it. But man, it was a really fun 1 and 2 movie. So you know what, if you find yourself, oh man, what can we watch? Hey, do you like killing? Sure. Well, obviously we like killing. No, I mean really, if you like a good horror movie, like I say, it's not a terrifying horror movie, but it's more like a little suspense thriller
Is it
comedy.
worse than Final Destination?
No, because Final Destination took itself really seriously,
Okay.
and this doesn't take itself that seriously.
Okay.
I mean, and the girl who stars in it, I think her name's Jessica Roth. A, she's adorable, and B, I mean, she just, I thought she did a really good job. Doing everything. I mean, she played like the quintessential little sorority bitch in the first one, who kind of evolved and then became a little bit of a badass in the second one because she had some confidence in it. And, I mean, it was a fun movie.
Let's see. Is this not going to tell me?
Where are you looking?
I was going to look to see to double check her name, basically. But I guess this isn't. Oh my God! For the love of God, stop asking me this.
Stop, Fandango.
No, it's not. Okay.
Go
Cool.
under more.
Oh God.
More.
Cast and crew. There we go.
Look at me.
Why would it not just? There's
Look at
plenty
me.
of space here.
Yeah, it is Jessica
Plays well
Roth.
on the. There you go. Jessica Roth.
She's quite lovely.
By vous. It's a.
Yeah, he's funny.
Ryan Fan. Well, what else has she been in? Forever My Girl.
She was in it was La La Land. Apparently she had a pretty decent sized role in La La Land, which, I didn't see it. But
I haven't seen it either.
La La Land. I heard it's good.
I want to see this. I want to see the Lego Movie.
You want to see
2.
Lego Movie?
2.
I'll send you and Callie to go see
Lego
it.
Movie 1 was good. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
I
I
mean,
skipped that one that day.
it's
Not trying to be funny. I think Tracy and Callie went, and I was like, no, I'm not going.
it's got Chris Pratt.
Oh, Jesus.
Chris Pratt plays the main character. Will Ferrell's plays the bad guy.
Oh, God. Man, just like,
What's the chick that's beside him is not Amy Smart. Fuck. She was in Role Models as the main woman, the main female lead. Elizabeth Banks.
Elizabeth Banks.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's who plays the female lead in Lego Movie.
Elizabeth Banks is in like everything.
Yeah. Morgan Freeman. She was Rita Repulsa in Power Rangers. I still,
She's magnificent. And did you ever see the Pitch Perfect movies? I figured.
yes, I've seen
being
1 and
with
2. We have not seen 3. We've seen 1 and 2.
3's fine.
Yeah,
it
not
does
running
not-
out the door to see
It
it.
doesn't touch 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But just Elizabeth Banks, and her and
Yeah.
John.
yes.
I cannot remember his last name to save my life.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Once you go back and watch it like the 3rd and 4th time, and you just start paying attention just to them. They're great. Oh my Jesus! It is some of the funniest shit you'll ever.
They are fantastic. Oh,
So
no, I kinda
we've
wanna
gone
watch
from
Pitch
Happy
Perfect
Death Day
again.
to You to Lego Movie to go see all the Pitch Perfects again.
Yeah.
And if you missed them, just watch FX. We'll be on there sooner or later,
Absolutely.
like every Tuesday night. So.
Let me see for mine. Last Week Tonight with John Oliver is back.
That's cool.
So he did a nice little
John is a red.
20-minute feature on Brexit and the horrible catastrophe that it's become.
I think they're 40 days away. I heard something today on TalkSport of all places. They are 40 days from Brexit, and apparently businesses have no idea how they're allowed to trade.
Yep.
No one. They have not been told. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we're changing all the rules. Okay. Yep.
Yep, that's it.
So, yep. All right. Well, want to get some coffee. See you guys later.
Potentially, there's one of the small towns, I think it's Dover or Doncaster, that's down in the port in the south coast, said that there could be, even though they'd have to do more like checking of goods and stuff, which even though per truck that comes over, it wouldn't take that long, maybe like an extra 15 seconds or so. I think they said that would add up to eventually lead to a 1 week backup in stuff at being able to come over, which is kind of insane. Also, the whole Northern Ireland border thing.
Oh yeah, the Irish.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's
and look, I'm not going to sit here and say, because you know what? Because I'm not British.
Nope.
I don't live in Britain. I don't have a direct connection to this. We watch the Premier League.
That's
We love
it.
the Premier League.
That's
our
literally
connection.
it. Yeah.
And I love the Royals. But anyway,
Wait, the show or the actual Royals?
the actual ones, Jesus.
Okay.
Love the monarchy. Even though that goes against all my Liverpool ethos. Love the monarchy. But, so I haven't sat and studied Brexit. To me, people voted for it and people want it out. Now, then it gets into, only 30% of people voted. And
Yeah.
those were the people who gave a shit to voice their opinion.
It is funny that
I'm one of those people. If you didn't vote for the president, what are you bitching about?
Here's the thing, though. They had one guy they were interviewing. I guess he runs like a floral delivery service, and he has to import a lot of his flowers. And they were interviewing him about the change. He's like, "Yeah, this is going to be a huge impact on my business and everything." And they're like, "Well, how did you vote?" He's like, "I voted to leave." And they're like, "So didn't this cross your mind at all that this could happen?" He's like, "Honestly, it didn't. I didn't really think about it that much." I'm like, "Oh, yeah."
To me, it kind of sounds like, and especially what we're hearing now, that like they're not being told how they can do business. Maybe they should have tabled this vote for a little while and really gotten into it. And I want to know where are the people that were supposed to step up and ask these questions.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand. You get caught up in the fervor, and trust me, this is America.
Yeah, we did.
Look
it.
how we living.
Yeah,
I just dropped a little Gambino, but it's all good.
it's fine. Josh Gambino, always welcome on this
Look
podcast.
how we living. Yeah, we like him. I understand how people get caught up in fervor and not thinking about the future sometimes, but especially if you're like a business owner.
Yeah.
I mean, this wasn't just a social thing. This was a business decision.
Huge business.
As a business owner or someone running a business, how can you in good conscience cast a vote or allow a vote to go through without knowing how it's going to directly affect business?
It's a good question. Something that Britain is grasping with right now.
I really think our cousins over there, who, once again, folks, we love you.
Yeah, we do.
We love you. We
love your soccer.
We love your football.
It's great.
We're giving you our football. It's a bad trade.
Yeah,
sorry. But Mauricio, that's what we're going to say. Sorry from now on.
Yeah.
Instead of the Canadian way of saying sorry, we're just going to say Mauricio.
Yeah.
I think they dropped the ball. I'm not saying they dropped the ball Brexiting.
Yeah.
Because I see where it's got its benefits now. Don't get me wrong. I see the benefits of Brexit. But I think they dropped the ball by the people not knowing totally what they were voting for.
Yeah.
And to me, I look at them, I'm like, shame on you guys.
Yeah.
This is y'all's fault.
That's to me the biggest thing is that I feel like is coming out of this is how I don't know if I want to say misinformed, although I think there was some misinformation. I would say ill-informed.
Yeah.
People were very ill-informed.
Right. It's like all they were thinking about was maybe the immigration part of it. Which once again, I think that is a big part. But then it's like you've got to look at the whole package.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like, hey, we mentioned the wall earlier. It's like, we can look at the wall for what it is, but there's more than
Yeah.
just the wall.
Yeah.
There's more to it than just building the wall. There's a lot more to this, which is why I think discussion is a good thing in democracies and in what we have as our forms of government, us and the British.
Yes.
We need to use that a little more. We use that ability a little more.
Oh, Parliament.
Oh, Congress, Jesus.
So, there you go.
Nobody gets along.
That's our watch for
Except us here, folks.
That's true.
Where a fiscal conservative, social liberal, and whatever left field Ed's out in, we get along just fine.
It's true, we do.
You know why we do it? Because we avoid political talk.
Most of the time, yes, we do, actually. It's amazing. Speaking of...
Truly a blue and a red.
Yes. It works on so many
In
levels.
harmony.
Oh, man. But speaking of
a blue brand and a red brand?
yeah, sure.
How's that
Let's get
sound?
so raw. I was gonna try to make it a thing because people have started pointing again, Wes Bradshaw. They're pointing at that sign.
Oh, it's about that time.
They're pointing at that sign.
But
Triple
are
H
they-
came out. He pointed.
Are they informed of what that sign means?
No, they are not.
I believe they're more well informed than the brazen people were.
That's true. That's fair. That's what we're gonna get to now, though, in So Raw.
That's right. We are fully on our way to WrestleMania 35.
Right, the sign.
This past week we had the Elimination Chamber, which at Wrestling Fan found out there was Elimination Chamber on like Saturday. Sorry, folks. Like I said,
Big push for an Elimination
me
Chamber.
me and wrestling lately.
Hey, I heard Ronda Rousey though came out in a Sonya Blade outfit, so that's cool.
She did. And I think she pointed at the sign.
Yeah, you have to. She's contractually obligated to at this point.
Basically, right now, I'm going to nail a few. I'm gonna give you the important results from Elimination Chamber,
Yeah.
and I'm going to give you some. We had some NXT debuts on Monday Night Raw
Love the
last
NXT
night. I wouldn't be shocked to have some on SmackDown tonight. But we're recording this. SmackDown starts in about an hour, 10 minutes, so I'm not going to have any SmackDown results, folks.
That's
Sorry.
fine.
Real quick, the big ones though from Elimination Chamber. We have our first ever women's tag team champions.
Ooh.
And it is Sasha and Bayley.
Yay, Sasha and Bayley.
So they've apparently put their differences aside for long enough to win these titles. So good for them.
Statement win.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of been looking forward to a women's tag team title. The women's division has improved so much over the last few years. It's time to expand it out. Instead of chasing one belt, this does give you more storyline. Yeah. So I'm down with it. That's cool. That's cool. The Usos beat The Miz and Shane McMahon, a team I still haven't figured out how the hell they're together. They beat them for the SmackDown titles, tag team titles. And then an Uso got arrested like over the weekend. So.
Wait, as a work or a shoot?
As a shoot, apparently. I don't know everything that happened, but he kind of bowed up at a cop who was, I think maybe his wife had gotten pulled over, and his wife is a wrestler, Naomi. I think she had gotten pulled over, and he started arguing with a cop and got arrested. I mean, just maybe disorderly conduct. I don't think it was, he didn't actually fight a cop or nothing.
That's good.
Wasn't that stupid?
Good to hear.
Finn Balor beat Bobby Lashley. It wasn't a triple threat. He beat Bobby Lashley for the Intercontinental title.
Wow.
So his first run with that belt, which Seth Rollins did a lot for in his latest run. So hopefully Finn will be able to continue that. I think he will. Balor's he's a really popular guy, and putting a belt on him, it'll be good. And I think it'll give a good barometer of where he can go next. And I mean, he's a hell of a worker. It'll be great. Daniel Bryan won the elimination match and retained the WWE Championship. Daniel Bryan has gone heel on us.
Yeah.
He's become kind of like an environmentalist, like, you people are dickheads because you use styrofoam cups. He's kind of taken that.
Big heel.
Yeah, big heel. But had a really, really, it was him and Kofi Kingston ended up being the last two, and apparently it was fantastic. I do intend to go back and check it out, but apparently it was fantastic. So now they're trying to figure out, are we going to keep going forward with this to Mania? Because now, we know, we know we're getting Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar for the Universal title. Well, now we got to figure out who we're going to get in that WWE title match. And it does look like that AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan has run its course, which is it's time to move on from that. So we need a fresh opponent for Daniel Bryan. So tonight on SmackDown, we may start finding out who that is. But from what I hear, it was a pretty damn good Elimination Chamber match. For NXT debuts last night on Raw. I'm still waiting for Adam Cole, baby, to come and save the world. He did not make his debut last night on Raw, but we got some good ones, man. We got Aleister Black, who I saw these guys in Durham recently. Aleister Black is fantastic. He's been NXT champion for the last year or so. He ended up losing it to another guy who debuted. That we'll say in a minute. He ended up losing a little while back, but he's really good. He's Dutch.
Oh,
So it's basically like bringing in a Van Alden or a Van Dyke. I don't know. He could be the Van Dyke of the
There
WWE.
you go.
You never know.
Solidify
Everything. Hey, he could save it. Who knows? Ricochet, the one and only Ricochet, who may be the most exciting wrestler on earth, is a high flying innovator. Is just this ultra athlete. Is someone, if you're trying to show them, if you're trying to just get someone to immediately hook them on, hey, this is why wrestling's fun. Now, trust me, back in Watts in '80 in the Oklahoma territory, this wouldn't have flown. Back when men were men. That's a fact.
I love Sassy.
With Watts and Eddie Graham, this wouldn't have flown. But in kind of what wrestling's become nowadays, man, Ricochet is up there. I mean, he's better flyer than the Young Bucks. All these guys who everyone does also know. I mean, Ricochet is like seen as it's like this guy is shit. Him and Will Ospreay are amazing. Ospreay's still in Japan, but Ricochet coming to Raw, that could be fun when he makes the permanent move. And then two guys who are carrying big belts right now: the North American champion in NXT, Johnny Gargano, they call him Johnny Wrestling, and his greatest rival, the NXT champion Tommaso Ciampa, the Blackheart, who is literally as good a badass heel as you will ever see. He is magnificent. A terrifying looking man. Not that big, but he's got a shaved bald head, a long bushy beard. These like, I will murder you in your sleep eyes. He's a little wild.
So once again, NXT will save wrestling.
Well,
is what I'm hearing.
Here's the problem with that.
Oh no.
Is how many times have I been ultra excited for someone to come up from NXT?
A lot.
And then they're wrestling in the mid card or doing bullshit on Raw sometimes.
Yeah.
So I mean that's what you worry about. That's Ciampa, by the way.
Oh, he does look very evil.
Scary man.
Yeah.
Very scary.
I would not want to run into that in a dark alley.
No, he is the Blackheart Tommaso Ciampa. So very, very terrifying. Every time you get, we thought Nakamura was going to save the world, and they found a way to fuck up Nakamura somehow.
That's so. I even as someone who doesn't really follow it that hard, that still bothers me.
I mean, the way you fucked up basically the biggest, what should have been international guy maybe ever, and you fucked him up somehow. So great job, WWE. But these four coming in, I still think there's a chance you see Undisputed Era come up soon. That'll be Adam Cole, but I mean, it's got to add some excitement because, it just adds that, maybe.
Yeah.
It gives you that, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll save it factor. So, yep. But anyway, that's as for So Raw, that's it for this week. We mentioned last week about the AEW pay-per-view. That's coming up in May, so we'll build to that some as it goes, as that becomes announced more and more. And hopefully we'll hear something sometime soon about a TV deal for AEW. And I mean, I would love for AEW to become there. Here's the thing we talked about: they're not going to be WWE.
Right.
You don't have 70 years of backing. You don't have 40 years of being the biggest brand with all the infrastructure they have. You're not overtaking that. But man, if it would give you a nice alternative.
Well, this is I can bring this in. I can launch bring in my my video game expertise into this. There's Cliff Bleszinski, who very famous game director. I believe had a hand in Doom and those kind of games. He put out a game sometime last year called Lawbreakers, which was supposed to be a sort of Fortnite-ish game. Actually, I guess it was actually supposed to be more like Overwatch. But then he put out another game called, I think it was, Radical Heights. Radical Heights is supposed to be a Fortnite killer, and lasted, I think, 2 weeks before it was pulled. Like, it was actually really bad. But he was awful. But basically, one of his quotes was, "There's room in every genre for like 2, maybe 3." So like in Battle Royale genre right now, you have Fortnite, you have Apex Legends, which just came out, thank you Respawn, and is number 2 with a bullet, might even become number 1, and then there's maybe room for a third. In MOBAs, there's League of Legends, there's Dota 2, and there's maybe something else. And everyone who wants to try and get that, don't even bother. Unless you can beat those two and become a top 2, don't even bother. So that's to me. There's the WWE.
Right.
There's that room for that number 2,
Right.
which may be AEW.
Well, because you've got Ring of Honor, and here's the thing: Ring of Honor and TNA, they've had time to really establish themselves, and they never have.
Yeah.
You've got New Japan over here, which New Japan is still a niche.
Yes.
It is gaining a foothold in the United States.
It can sit very comfortably in that 3 slot.
Right. But the thing is, too, right now, New Japan has just lost their biggest U.S. stars, which were the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes, and Kenny Omega. They're going to AEW. Here's my only worry with AEW is, they're going to hit the ground running. They're going to be able to blow it up quick because you're going to have Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho. You're going to have the Bucks. You're going to have Cody. They've signed, we said Pac, formerly known as Neville. They're signing some good guys right out the gate, and that's awesome. The whole thing to building a wrestling company, though, is continuity. Because once again, WWE in what it is, WWE has been around. Let's just say since 1960, even though they were around before then. Well, obviously, the guys who was on top of 1960 are long gone.
Yeah.
And maybe the old wrestling fans bring them up sometimes. Bruno had his run in the 70s where he was the greatest wrestler of all time. Bruno gone. Hulk in the 80s. Hulk gone. Stone Cold, The Rock in the 90s. They gone. But that was the thing, AEW is going in with some monster names to start with. But are they truly in this for the long haul?
Sure.
Or is it going to be where, man, we're going to pop it for 2 years? And then after that, once, say, Kenny Omega finally goes to WWE, or Cody Rhodes decides to go back to WWE, or the Bucks go to WWE. By the way, the Bucks are like kind of the guys running everything. When suddenly you don't have Omega, the Bucks, and Cody, and Chris Jericho is a expiration. There's expiration down Chris Jericho anywhere he goes, because Jericho has so many other things. He wrestles some and then he bounces and then he comes back. When those guys are gone, are you going to build that infrastructure to keep this going for years?
Right.
Now, there is money behind it in the Khan family. We talked about Shad Khan owns Fulham, owns the Jacksonville Jaguars, as our friend Ian. Oh, God, who's our soccer announcer?
Ian Dark?
Not Ian Dark.
Arlo?
Arlo. Arlo. All I think was Ian. I meant Arlo. The Jacksonville Jaguars. So there is money behind it. If they can build a substantial, a profitable product, which they should be able to, that's a good step in the right direction. But will you be able to keep it where if the Bucks leave, if Omega leaves, you're going to still have that level of interest?
Right.
And that's a whole infrastructure that has to be built. And that's what I think is going to be the hardest part, is building the infrastructure. They're going to pop some ratings early, because man, this is our chance to see these guys.
Do they have a network deal?
If they do, they haven't announced it yet.
Okay.
We're still waiting. Apparently, they're going to have one. We just don't know what it is yet. But here's the thing: is AEW going to be a 2-year supernova? In 5 years, are we going to still talk about AEW? In 10 years, in 20 years, are we going to still talk about AEW? That's kind of the big question out there. So, it's very exciting time, which for the here and now, magnificent. You need that excitement.
That's future West problem. That's not today West problem.
That's not today West. That's futures. Anyway.
So that'll do it for So Raw, and that'll do it for episode 250 of the Foreign Affair podcast. Big thanks, as always, to our sponsors, NGSC Sports, as well as Alicia's Pills and Things. You can find them on the social media, as well as us on Twitter as a collective. We are at AFA Pod. Wes, you are?
I'm at Wes Bradshaw 21.
I'm at Edward Green. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube via our parent show, the All New Sports Show. You can also email us at that address, allnewsportshow@gmail.com. Thanks to all our podcast providers, including Podbean.com, Stitcher, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, the TuneIn Radio app, Google Play Music, and the iTunes Music Store. We'll be back next week live.
Yeah, because this actually would have been my week to do Infield Corner.
Cool. So we'll be back live next week, not in the same room, but we'll be back on our normal time Wednesday nights to recap big weekend in the Premier League, of course, with Liverpool playing Manchester United. That's
oh yeah,
Is that? I've seen some people talking about. Is this the biggest Liverpool Man United game in the last 10 to 15 years?
This is the biggest one for Liverpool.
Okay, yes.
We'll definitely put it that way because obviously with the title implications.
Yes.
But I mean, it might be just because like I said, definitely from a Liverpool side it is. So
Okay.
we'll go with that.
So that, of course, on the weekend, I believe Tottenham Burnley actually started all off on Saturday morning at 7:30. Yeah, the big one. Oof. Harry Kane might be back for that one somehow.
Just give him 15 minutes.
2 weeks ahead of schedule because the mad lad that he is. So that big week of Premier League football, we'll talk about that. I actually don't believe there's Champions League next week.
No, they're not back for another few weeks. So, I mean, it's 3 weeks, but it'll be a couple weeks before your second legs.
I think it's off week, and then we're back the following week. So 2 weeks from today, I believe we play.
Really quick, so because you'll play on we play the 13th, so you'll play either the 5th or the 6th. So,
2 weeks from today.
Yeah,
or tomorrow.
Next week we're off. Next week will be an off week, and then it'll be back.
Yeah. And then from that point on, that'll be the last matches of the leg 2 of the round of 16. And then from then on, it's back-to-back weeks you play instead of having this couple weeks in between.
Yeah.
Europa League still has to play back-to-back weeks.
They're there. They're still there. Good for 'em.
Good luck, Arsenal, against the Masters of Bate. That's rough. So that's going to do it, though, for this podcast. But, Wes, anything else you want to add before we get out of here?
2 quick things. Just some interesting things I saw here on the Facebook.
Sure.
Clint Williams posted this. And no, we're not big college basketball fans, but, I mean, as we were sitting literally in Tobacco Road right now, basically, don't get no closer than this. UNC Duke playing Wednesday night, I guess.
It's usually Wednesday night.
Yep, Wednesday night. So by the time you hear this, it would have been at least
last
previous.
night. Yeah.
Right now, prices in the secondary market to get in there approaching Super Bowl prices.
Oh my!
$2,500 if you want to get in the gym at Cameron.
Oh, it's a Cameron?
Oh yeah, it's
Okay,
Cameron.
that makes at least slightly more sense.
Oh yeah, it's a Cameron.
Because I was like, that's really high for.
No one goes to Chapel. Well, they do, but yeah, I mean they're.
Well, when you compare the capacity of each place.
Yeah, I mean when you're trying to pack 7,500 people into the biggest game in college basketball, and also that man you see there, Zion Williamson, has brought a level of, such hype to the game this year. Floyd Mayweather was at the State Duke game the other night.
Really?
I mean, there are celebrities who've been coming into Duke to see, because this Zion Williamson kid is such a kind of phenomenon.
Yeah.
He's 6'9", 280 pounds, moves like LeBron James. So he's the next LeBron, and his dunks are amazing.
Yeah.
So you got that, and then also just a little something to add as we threw this in earlier. I saw a funny little meme.
Oh, I love
meme.
meme.
We like to call them memes because, as you know, folks, we enjoy the European things. 3 things you'll never see again in your lifetime.
Sure.
Blockbuster Video, dinosaurs, and Manny Machado in the playoffs.
Oh boy. Oh, poor Machado.
That said, he's gonna have $300 million in the bank from and gets to live in San Diego. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Beautiful
people are
San
roasting him, and he's just sitting there like, okay, I'm playing the World Series.
Yeah.
If he had won it, it would have been a perfect ending. Oh God, I would go take that all day if I'd won the World Series.
Yeah.
So and winning a World Series, I mean, it's not an exact science,
No.
It's not like it used to be where the Yankees would just buy everybody and go win the World Series. So.
Yeah. Here's the weird thing. Like we've seen though the last couple years, we've seen like Chicago kind of tank rebuild. We saw Houston kind of tank rebuild.
We saw Kansas City win a World Series.
We did see Kansas City win a World Series.
I mean, if you would say Kansas City or San Diego, I would have said, well, obviously neither. Kansas City won a World Series, though.
I'm just worried San Diego has been so bad. And I know Kansas City was really bad before they won the World Series, and so was Houston. Houston felt like they had a much better plan.
Well, it helped when you have the number 1 pick for a decade.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, and Kansas City kind of built it that way too, where San Diego's doing the really risky route. They're going out. I mean, this is not the first year of the last few years.
Did they get last year Hosmer?
God, somebody they spent a lot of money on.
I think it was Hosmer.
I mean, they've spent a lot of money the last few years.
Yeah.
I mean, Machado's an elite player.
Will Myers.
Yeah, they got Will Myers, and they re-signed him to big money.
Yeah.
They traded for Will Myers. Saw Will Myers play in high school,
Mm-hmm.
right up here in Cary, of all places.
There you
go. At the Impact, where Brian Goodwin schooled his ass. But anyway, plays for Kansas City.
There you
Brian
go.
Goodwin. God, everything connects.
Everything connects.
But I'm not exactly throwing my money on
No.
San Diego.
I wouldn't either, especially the division's really good.
Founded by the Germans.
I believe it means a whale's vagina.
Whale's vagina.
Oh, man.
Anyway, we'll end on a whale's vagina.
That's all I ever wanted. So, for my call in crime, Wes Bradshaw, I am Edward Green. Thank you so much for joining us here on episode 250 of the AFA Pod. And until next time, stay safe and enjoy the football.
And good night from a whale's vagina.
It's be a very smelly place. Yeah. I imagine it's very smelly. I imagine most whales are smelly.
This show is sponsored by Alicia's Pillows and Things. Check out the Facebook page, Alicia's Pillows and Things, where you will find home decor you will not be able to resist at prices anybody can afford. Check out the pillows and stools of your favorite sports teams. Maybe you want a set of your kid's favorite cartoon or movie character. You can also get full body and neck pillows as well. Log on to ngscsports.com and go to the Alicia's Pillows and Things tab on the homepage to complete your order. It makes a great gift for Christmas at an affordable price. NGSC Sports. We never stop.
You're listening to NGSC Sports Radio. Hear us live on NGSCsports.com, where you can get awesome analysis for all things sport. Or check out our podcasts on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, iTunes, TuneIn, and much more. For our latest videos, head to NGSC Sports YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at NGSC Sports and like us on Facebook. NGSC Sports. We never stop.